He didn't say it's snotty either, he just said it
No.
nice.
But he wasn't
And
going to sacrifice because it's like, okay, I'm not doing that. But
Yeah.
I, you know,
I'm not gonna sacrifice the animals that Abimelech just gave me.
yeah, really.
Yeah. That's another good reason why that I love Bible studies, is because each one of us sees something different. God had Abraham apologize through this prayer. Very good. All right, now we get.
I
go
also,
ahead.
well, I
Yeah.
also have a question about the timeline of this.
Mm.
Because we know it's a year from the time God tells Abram and Sarah that they're going to have
Yeah.
a son, but these women are not conceiving, so I'm all confused. I mean, you know, are they?
Yeah. How long? Like Christy said, how long were they there?
Yeah,
Were they there a long time? And how come Sarah's not showing if they were there that long of a time?
But didn't he say within a year?
yeah.
Maybe
He said within a year, this time next year, she will have a son.
Right.
So it's got to be in a year time frame. But to have this disease have their wound shut, basically, how do they know? I mean, or is it just something God did? And
Yeah. We won't know. And it had to take them a while to walk 60 miles, right? You know?
Well, maybe that's why God came in the dream of Abimelech instead of, because he couldn't mess with Sarah because she was going to be the mother of nations and there can't be any question about it.
True, true.
Like you said with Mary, I believe, wasn't it? Can't be any question about where that
Right.
baby came from.
Right,
Right.
right. So her and
She
Joseph.
had to be a virgin.
Yep. That's what the Bible tells us, that they didn't consummate their marriage until after Jesus was born. Yep. That took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. All right,
Yeah, we're not
chapter
done yet.
21, another good chapter.
It was a week of soap opera.
Yeah,
It seems like it's a soap opera every week in the Bible,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
pretty much. Okay, so chapter 21, what's going on here?
Well, Sarah finally had Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son 8 days.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham was 100 years old.
Yep.
Gosh.
And Sarah is 90 or 91. They're old people.
named him Isaac, which means he laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with parents like that, I'd laugh too. I'm sorry.
Okay, and 'cause
Well, they
Sarah
were
was
laughing because they were joyful. First, it was unbelief. And
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
They thought it was a joke. Yeah.
Do you
Yep.
think God gave Abraham the name Isaac for Isaac, or,
Yes.
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 Yep.
did.
Yeah, he did. It was back up with you.
okay.
It was
that's what I
back,
thought.
yeah, chapter 19
When
or
he
something.
changed their names, I think is when he, didn't that when he told him what Isaac's name was supposed to be?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3 says, Abraham gave the name Isaac to the son Sarah bore him.
I forgot.
But before that,
Yeah, it's back when
Oh,
God
yeah,
gave
that was-
Abraham
that was-
the name Isaac.
When they
It
were
was-
told, you will bear a son.
Wasn't when Sarah laughed? When the three men were there
he,
and Sarah laughed?
Okay, so that's from 18.
Yes, 18:10. Then the Lord said, I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah, your wife, will have a son. And Sarah was listening. Nope, he didn't say, name him Isaac.
I saw that somewhere though.
Yeah, but I don't
did
see it.
too.
I just see she's laughing. She says, Lord, I'm old.
That's about where the name.
Sarah will
comes
have a
from,
son.
too.
That's all it says.
Yeah, it is, but I don't see where he said the name in Isaac.
Okay, 17, 17, and 18, 17, 18 actually.
Oh, yes.
17, 19. then God said, yes, but your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you will call him Isaac.
Oh, there it
Oh, there
is,
you
yep.
go.
I
There it
missed
is, okay. I even have it highlighted. Yep.
17, 19.
Oh, establish with Isaac with whom?
Okay, good.
This-
Yeah, he's like.
That's
he's like
right,
begging
look
for
at that. You know
Ishmael
what?
to
It was
get the
repeated twice in the Bible.
What's
And-
that, babe?
About Isaac bearing a son, and then it's again in 18, at the end of 18. It was at the end of 17 and then 18. It like repeats itself.
Okay.
Interesting. Didn't you say something happens if it repeats a couple times?
3 times.
Oh, that was only twice. All right.
One more time.
No, not yet.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
It's just repeated twice.
Okay.
17 and 19. Okay.
Okay, good. 17, 19. Perfect. Okay. All right. What else is going on here?
Oh, a lot of jealousy and backstabbing, and because it comes to Ishmael and Hagar.
But verse 8, why did they have a party just because Isaac was weaned?
Like coming of age. Like
Wait a minute.
Jewish boys.
Yeah, but
Okay.
he's only 2.
2
Oh,
or 3.
okay.
What's the big deal?
Any excuse for a party, I think.
At ages 2 or 3, it was customary in the ancient Near East to be weaned. That's all it says.
Okay.
And Ishmael was about, it says in his late teens.
Okay.
He would have been 16 or 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I found out that is, since infant mortality was so high back then, if a child made it to the age of 2 or 3, they had a celebration because the child survived. So the child was weaned, and now he can start taking his own food. So he survived at those early ages. So that's why they had the big party.
So if they got by the early ages, they might live to be hundreds.
They might live to be hundreds, yeah.
You know.
So,
Yep.
my question
Yeah.
is, since Ishmael is 17 or 8, he's an older
teenager.
teen,
Yeah.
why would he be under bushes crying? Do you
If
see
he was
that?
near death.
Yeah, he was dying. They ran out of water,
Yeah.
and he was starting to die.
What
So-
indicates, doesn't the mother put him there?
Yeah.
Because she can't bear to watch him die. So she puts him in the shade and she walks away because she knows she can't do anything for him.
Kind of interesting with the bow shot.
Yeah,
Same way with
how
David.
far is a bow shot?
Good archer.
And he
Depends.
grows up to be an archer, right?
Yeah, depends how good he is. Now, let's go back a little bit to verses 9 and 10. What's going on in 9 and 10?
Well, Ishmael threatened, by having Ishmael, he threatened Isaac's inheritance by having him around, right?
Yep. Because Ishmael thought he was the older son. He thought he was the firstborn to Abraham. So that's why he was mocking this party of Isaac. Because Ishmael figures he's got nothing to worry about. Because he's the firstborn, he's going to get everything. And that's why Sarah acted like she did. She knew she had to get rid of Ishmael so her son could get the inheritance.
But actually, in tradition, once the wife can give the slave to have the child, and once the wife actually has a child, though, that child is put up as number 1,
But-
and they would have to split the inheritance in some way. So Sarah's just kind of going to go, okay, we're just going to get rid of him altogether.
But remember,
Didn't
Abraham,
Hagar and Abraham get
they
married?
did.
Okay.
So it was more than just a slave relationship, because Sarah gave Abraham Hagar as a wife.
That's
So-
right.
So both of these things could be true based on the traditions, so we don't really know. We just know that Sarah didn't want Isaac to have just half or nothing. So she's gonna get rid of the competition.
Isn't that what families fight about today? When somebody
Yeah.
dies, they fight over what's left?
Yeah.
Inheritance.
I mean, so often you hear about family split, they don't talk to one another again, a lot of
Half brothers
backstabbing and all
half
this stuff.
sisters and that. is
Yeah.
So
part
there
of the
again, they are not
confusion.
believing what God told them. Again,
Yeah.
because
But there's
he
also
told
this
them.
mocking going on that probably just rubs Sarah raw.
Oh, I
Oh,
How
sure.
dare that
But-
child
Yeah.
harass my baby?
And there's different interpretations of mocking. They're not sure if this word meant mocking, playing with Isaac, or actually attacking Isaac. So they're not really sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's probably some jealousy going on. Maybe he didn't expect the child to survive till 2.
That
You
could
know,
be
if he
too.
was the big brother,
Yeah.
and he was the kingpin up until that point,
Right.
and if this celebration indicated that this little guy was really gonna make it,
Mhm.
then he would really be somebody,
Yeah.
and he
Sarah
became
probably
a
was
threat
afraid.
at that time.
That Ishmael might do something to Isaac.
Yeah, then he was,
That
that's
he
when
would
he
kill him,
became
basically.
a real threat.
Well, my book says by driving them out would have had the effect of disinheriting Ishmael. So that's why she drove him out.
Right.
So he's like, sorry, you're gone.
Yeah. So Isaac
So-
would get the full share.
Right.
Yep.
Ishmael and Abraham were probably good friends and buddies, hunting buddies and
Sure. Well,
hanging out buddies.
we know that Abraham loved him because in verse 11, let's see here. The matter distressed Abraham greatly because it concerned his son. He didn't want Sarah to be, I mean, he didn't want Ishmael and Hagar to be driven away because that was his son. You know, he did care about him. But God took care of Ishmael also. Because he will make the son, I will make the son of the slave into a nation, because he is your offspring. So God's telling Abraham, don't worry about it. He's going to be okay. I'm going to make him into a nation too.
Doesn't another great novel start that way, Call Me Ishmael?
There you go. Yeah.
Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. All right, so what else do we have in chapter 21?
Well, again, an angel appeared to Hagar. She appeared to him once when she was pregnant with Ishmael, and then appeared again later.
Is that the time it's actually an angel, or is that the time it's actually God?
Well, mine says the angel of God,
Yeah.
but I don't
So,
know.
do we have another translation that says something different?
On 17?
It must be when she got sent away before that she named God, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
when she
Yeah.
was
It's
pregnant, she
repeating
named God.
itself again. That's
Right.
Only twice.
So here, God heard the boy crying and sent his angel to Hagar.
But is angel of
comfort
God
her.
maybe another name for Jesus?
That's what it said
The
earlier.
pre-incarnate
what it
Jesus.
said earlier.
I would be
I think-
careful about going that far.
Okay,
Because remember,
Okay.
angels are created
right.
things, and Jesus was not. So we gotta be real careful. Because if the Bible tells us it's an angel, it's an angel. Yeah.
Backtracking to
Which is a
14,
messenger.
Abraham took some food and a skin of water. If he really loved him and wanted him to exist, he'd loaded up a donkey or a camel or, you know,
Yeah.
just not a day's worth.
Well, and we could look at it a different way, because God told Abraham that he will make the son of the slave into a nation. So this could show that Abraham is trusting in God. Could. But you're right. Abraham's got a bunch of stuff. He could have sent them off with, 3,000 head of cattle. But in this case, I prefer to believe that Abraham's finally trusting God.
Be a first.
Yeah, because I was pretty hard on Abraham before.
Well, and she sat down to cry. I think she's like, we gave up everything and we're here in the desert again. You know, everything I had a bed, now I have nothing.
Yeah.
And I think she's just, you know,
So noontime temperature should be 120 degrees Fahrenheit and just,
yeah.
Yeah, and all they had was a bag of water. But God took care of them, and we have the Muslim nation
And
from Ishmael.
But she didn't know, she didn't have that assurance.
yes, she did.
that-
Well-
When she was pregnant and out in the desert in the first time, God told her that she would have a son to name him Ishmael and that he would make him into a great nation. So when she was out in the desert, when she was pregnant, God told her all this. So she apparently had forgotten also, or didn't trust, or, you know, we all fall short in that category, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, things didn't look very good for her when she was out in the
Well,
desert.
it was 16, 17
Again,
years
that's right.
earlier.
Again, she's in the desert again.
Right.
So she was right to be worried.
Yeah.
But once again, the angel of God comforts her and says, I will make him into a great nation. So there she has the assurance that he's going to grow up and he's going to become pretty powerful.
I like the way, though, it says his mother got him a wife.
Yeah.
Poor Ishmael, he couldn't do anything by himself,
Well,
could
Well,
he?
she was Egyptian and he found him an Egyptian wife, so
Right.
there was something in Hagar that said, this is the place to go.
Yeah,
Egypt,
and,
yeah.
and in the commentaries I read, this is the only instance where a mother finds a son a wife. So there has to be some kind of significance here. Once again, we'll find out when we get to heaven, and this will be one of those questions
Well, there
we'll
wasn't a
ask.
father to do it, so she was both mother and father.
It's true, and
Good
and going
answer.
with what Deb said, parents often arrange their children's marriages. It
the
says.
first
It's-
dating service.
There you go, yeah.
Now, you mentioned heaven
Hagar.com.
again.
No
Do you think
harmony.
that we will have instant knowledge? Or we
Agar.com.
have to constantly learn all the gaps in through here?
I wonder.
What? I missed it.
Gary says, when we get to heaven, will we have instant knowledge, or will we still have to grow?
Couple books I've read about people who die and go to heaven and come back said all their questions were answered like that in their head. They knew answers to everything.
We're gonna have to
But
wait, I
did they
think.
remember when they came back?
Yes. And they were
Ooh.
given a message.
Cool.
Brain, wouldn't you?
They were given a
I've never read one of those
message.
books, so.
Well, it's in your office. I gave it to you.
I know, I just never read it.
Clutter, something's gotta go.
Yeah.
I you read that, remember?
Yeah. No, I did not.
Oh.
No,
I didn't.
Trying to help. a
someone
brother
gave it
out.
to me, and
Yeah,
it's fairly good.
I have a real hard time believing that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
That yes, I do. That the knowledge that they
What to tease
that they
you.
received in heaven would be allowed to come back.
Yeah.
I've had-
It was
But
not.
yet some of it
I feel that way
is. Look,
too.
we have John and we have Paul as examples. Now, there's some things that they were told that they couldn't tell, but there were other things they were to
I
write
believe in the
down.
We were
book,
in a
she was
trance,
supposed
or-
to make sure certain things, try to bring people to me, it was more of a
But
evangelist.
We're told that
Right.
in Scripture.
But things were in her, but she doesn't remember, she remembers that feeling I knew, but she came back, she doesn't.
Yeah.
But she was told.
I don't know.
It's,
I don't know.
John was in a trauma or a trance or something like that when he got revelations.
Yeah. From fasting.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, and John and Paul, maybe they were allowed to retain it because of the task they were given.
mhm.
Just any old schmo, I don't know. I'd have, yeah.
Well, like Christy said though, if it was something that they needed to retain to draw somebody to Christ.
Yeah, for the task they were given.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
maybe not everything, but
Yeah. Yeah.
not those why questions that we have.
It sold a
Yeah.
book, that's all that matters.
Right. Yeah. I'm still not going to read that book.
I know you're
So
not.
I find it
It's the
interesting
only book I
that
need.
that God opened her eyes and there was a well.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, wouldn't she have seen this well?
No, he
It probably
put it
didn't
there.
exist
It wasn't
until he
there
gave it to
before.
her, yeah.
Is that what we discussed in Bad Girls, Slightly Bad Girls? That it
Yeah.
wasn't there, that
It
he just
wasn't
kind
there.
of,
He provided,
okay.
yeah.
Wells were a pretty important thing in the desert.
Oh, yeah.
Will come up.
Yep, comes up again,
Battles will be fought over him.
right in the next section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't spend too much time in the next section, but you guys see anything there?
We were just supposed to read up to 21, right?
No, 22.
22.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay, I thought it was interesting that Abimelech came back to Abraham and had some sort of fear of God at this point and fear of Abraham, that he wanted to make this treaty with him because he was afraid of Abraham coming in and doing him harm.
Yeah, yeah. But I found verse 26 kind of funny.
36?
Yeah, 26.
26.
But Abimelech said, I don't know who had done this. You did not tell me. That'd be the second time that Abraham didn't tell Abimelech something. First time was when Sarah was his wife.
Oh, this is about the well
Yeah,
that
exactly.
his
Yeah.
servants or slaves
Right.
had
Okay.
taken.
You didn't tell me about it, so I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
About time for Abimelech to send Abraham packing.
Yeah, it's about time. This guy's caused me enough trouble. Time to get rid
Now
of that.
he's given Abimelech, yeah, hold on. Back his sheep and cattle.
Some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
And then everything is named, the well,
Mm-hmm.
mountain trees.
And notice that Abraham gives Abimelech 7 lambs.
Yeah.
So-
I noticed that.
It's in complete payment of something. Because 7 being the number of completion.
There's 7 ewes. Hopefully he has a male lamb.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully he didn't give them all to Abraham. Then we get into chapter 22.
And
Yeah.
for some reason that tamarisk tree popped out at me, so I had
Okay.
to look up what a
Sure.
tamarisk tree was. And it's a very unique plant. It is very high in salt content. So what happens is during the day, when it's a humid day, the salt collects the moisture out of the air. And then at night when it cools off, the salt dries up, and then the next morning there's the dew that's left over, and it acts as like a cooling agent.
Oh.
So, and it's more like a pine tree
Uh-huh.
rather than a bush with regular leaves. It actually has like needles in it, and they're all over in the desert there in Israel.
So we know that has to have some significance.
And they usually planted them as like it's kind of like an altar thing. It's a sign of a commitment.
Now mine says leafy branches for the tamarisk tree.
Okay.
They welcome shade. Okay.
I guess it depends on where you get your information. I googled it.
I don't know. I wish I had a picture though. Tamarisk, okay.
I should have pointed it off.
That would probably be another thing where if we looked at different translations of the Bible, we'd
Different.
see something different.
Right.
Yeah.
Because leafy branch and then pine tree. So,
And maybe it's the version too.
yeah. Yep.
NIV, that's all I got.
Across, it's a long living tree.
A long living,
Yeah, and
Evergreen.
they get to be like 50 feet tall.
So in your notes, Gary, it says like an evergreen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
yeah, mine doesn't.
Flowering.
It says a shrub or small tree that thrives in arid regions. Its leafy branches provide welcome shade.
Now this is one kind, and that doesn't look like it provide a whole lot of shade.
No.
This commentary says Abraham now owned the first small part of the land that God had promised him.
Oh.
So.
He
ownership
owned it,
the
huh?
First time.
There's different kinds.
So it must be the different variations of the,
Yeah, there's
Cameras.
different kinds up there too. Those are both
now
it.
mine is spelled differently than that.
Yeah, it's TAM.
A-R-I-S-K, I have.
R-I-S-K, yeah, and this is just
The X,
when I,
okay.
yeah, it's,
Well, and you'll notice that Abimelech is spelled differently in different versions of the Bible too.
Oh,
Same guy, just different spelling.
of it flowering.
yeah.